Good morning, conference. I'm hoping that everybody's had an absolutely exciting time this weekend, and today we have the most amazing person to come to speak to us. So I'd love you to please welcome me in joining Hayley Mulenda. I completely said that wrong and I'm so sorry, but please join me in welcoming Hayley Mulenda. Hayley's a multi-award winning international speaker, author and change agent who has spoken to thousands of people across the world, sharing a story on how she turned pain into purpose. And this morning, she's going to come and talk to us. Welcome, Hayley.
Hi guys, thank you so much for having me. I'm hoping that everyone has enjoyed the conference so far, as I know that today is the last day. But don't worry, we're about to get it rolling. So I'm just about to share my screen now for this presentation. Ooh, technology, if there's something that I'm learning now more than ever, is you have to basically get used to technology because everything has been virtual now. So let me just quickly share my screen. Right, so guys, my name is Hayley Mulenda. I'm an international keynote speaker, author, and change agent, and I'm super excited to be speaking. But the title of my speaking engagement today is called The Hidden Filter. So if you are going to be on socials, if you are going to be using any hashtags, please just use the hashtag The Hidden Filter. Reason being is because throughout this whole speaking engagement, I'm going to refer to this specific title. Now, before I get going on into my story, I'll give you a little bit of background to myself. This picture was actually taken last year in Norway, where I spoke at She Conference. And the reason why I love this picture so much is simply because of the fact that I'm speaking on stage to thousands of people. But I don't know if you guys can see over here in the background is when I first started speaking at the age of 16. And there was 12 people in the room. And I always come and say this, that your current situation is not your final destination. Now, when I was here, I wasn't in the best of places. I was depressed. I didn't really actually have hope for life. I was really young. As I said, I was 16 and I was going through quite a lot at the time. And I remember literally being in this place where I didn't necessarily see a light at the end of the tunnel. So now when I'm on stage, I'm speaking to thousands of people about my story, I never knew that it would have been possible. Right, so I've had the opportunity to work with the University of Cambridge, Unilever, Teach First, Microsoft and the Cabinet Office, and many more other institutions and organizations. And yeah, I actually really love the fact that I get the opportunity to travel around the world and just share my story of pain to purpose. So moving on to my story, what is pain to purpose? Pain to purpose first started, yes, in 2016, it was my first year of university. And I always have to laugh when I first moved to university. So I'm the baby of the house. So I'm my mom's baby. And I remember moving out, I was ready to move out. I was just like, listen, I don't want to live this baby girl life anymore. I'm ready to live it up. So I went to university and basically wilded out. And I was definitely the crazy one. I was the life of the party. Like there was no party. If Hayley's not in the party's dead. That's basically me. So I have to be in the party for the party to be amazing, right? And I'm still this girl till this day. The party doesn't start till Hayley arrives, right? So I was very much the person that I remember when I first went to university, freshers, drinking and all that. And I was the girl that we like to drink with Hayley because Hayley is her mate. And when you drink with Hayley, she dances down at 8, 7. And I was determined that my drink would be finished by 3. So I'm not even getting to 3, 2. No, by 3, you're like, yeah, drink's finished. Right, so I went to University of Sussex and I really enjoyed my experience there. But the thing is that when I went to University of Sussex, I left home. I was the youngest, obviously the baby. So I wasn't necessarily used to kind of looking after myself to that extent. And I was the only Black girl in my halls. And on top of that, I faced racism when I was at Sussex. And I also got really depressed. And every single one of my flatmates, because I shared it with 12 people, they were all depressed, clinically diagnosed. Majority of them were clinically diagnosed with depression. And I was the only person that came to university not even ever identifying with depression. I never even said, okay, I was depressed or anxious before going to university, just because it was a taboo word. Depression was a taboo word. I never really thought about, okay, Hayley, you may be depressed or you may be, going through, having anxiety. And that was something that never left my vocabulary until I went to university. And I remember being in university and I remember literally finding myself, I think it got to about, let's say around February 2016, that's when I felt like a lot of things started to spiral. I stopped eating. And the reason why I had to highlight this is because I'm a foodie. I'm one person that I don't have an issue sharing money, but I have an issue sharing food. Like, I'm just the type of person that I would rather buy you your own meal than for you to eat anything off my own plate. I don't know what it is. Since a young child, I've been a foodie. That's what everyone tells me. I love food. So when I stopped eating food, I knew personally it was a problem. And I knew that there was something going on. And my personal, to be very clear and to be, you know, maybe triggering, but my personal hygiene went down the roof. And when my personal hygiene went down the room, I didn't want to shower anymore. I didn't even want to brush my teeth. I didn't want to leave my bed. And I remember just being in a place where just my thoughts started getting really dark. I would want my curtains closed all the time. I wouldn't necessarily want to even go to lectures. My attendance dropped to about 30% in my first year of university, just because of the fact that I just was never going to my lectures. I was never attending any of my seminars. I really had felt that, yeah, this is the end. Like, I don't want anything to do with this, right? And I remember being in this place and not necessarily know what to do, because I had never known anyone else to be in this place. Even though I'd heard of depression and anxiety, I knew it was something a bit more. And now I'm in a place of severe depression. Now I'm in a place of where my panic attacks and my anxiety was going to another level. And now my thoughts are now becoming suicidal. Now my thoughts are now come to a place where I didn't know what to do and I didn't know how to go about it. And I remember being in a place where, how do I even explain it? I remember being in a place where my mum, I always believe that mums have six senses. My mum was calling me about 6 times, right? And I already know with the type of mum that I have, after the first time, if you're not picking up the phone, my mum's going to have, like, my mum's calling the police, my mum's calling the fire brigade, my mum's calling everything. So I remember getting 6 calls from my mum and I knew I was in trouble, because if you just have one missed call from my mum, like, you're in trouble already. So I remember getting 6 missed calls from my mum, but I remember literally just letting the phone ring and just not caring. I just I didn't want to talk to my mum. And I knew that as soon as I picked up the phone, there's something with my mum that she knows when I'm upset just by the tone of my voice. Just by saying the word hello, my mum's going to know something's up. And I just wasn't ready to have that conversation with her yet. And I remember literally picking up the phone and just saying hello. My mum said, "What's wrong?" And I just broke down into tears. I said, "Mummy, I can't do this. I can't be here anymore." Now, obviously, my mum thought that I was talking about I can't be in university. Whereas for me, I was actually saying I can't be here. Like, I can't be here in this life. I can't be here in this world. Because at this point now, I was very much contemplating suicide. I was very much contemplating taking my own life. I remember that very day, my mum rushed down to Sussex, because obviously we stay in London. She rushed down to Brighton. And I remember literally my mum just picking me up and saying, "Come on, let's get in the car, let's go." So it was my mum, my stepdad is like, "Okay, let's go. You're coming back home." And you would think me moving back home, life would get better. You'd think that me getting back home, that things would get easier. In fact, it got harder, because now I started to feel like I was a burden for my family. Now I started to feel like I can't even feel happy at home. The home that I grew up in, the home that my whole life is in, I can't even feel at peace here. And I remember literally I was lacking sleep. Around this time, I started getting addicted to sleeping pills because I couldn't sleep. And I literally would be taking these sleeping pills during the day, just so I could be very mellow, just so I could just be very, I don't know how to explain it, so I could just not be engaged with life. So the sleeping pills made me very mellow, made me very like, not really thinking too tough. And I remember literally just getting addicted to sleeping pills. So I remember just taking 3, taking 2. And at this point I was very daring. So, you know, normally they'll come and say, take 2 every 12 hours, but I'll take 4. Just so that I could push my luck and just hope that, okay, maybe if I sleep, I won't wake up if I take extra pills. So now I got to the point where I was just literally just toying with it. I was literally just experimenting with my life at this point. And now I remember it get to a place where my mum had to make a very hard decision. My granddad got really, really ill. And my granddad lives in Uganda, where my mum is originally from. And I remember my mum having to make a hard decision as to whether she needs to stay here to make sure that I'm okay, or go to see my granddad. And my mum went to go see my granddad because I told her, "Listen, just go. I'm going to be okay. My brother's here." Now, my older brother had to look after me at this point. And I remember it being very interesting, because at this point, this is when it started getting really, really bad. This is when it started getting it got overwhelming, even for myself. And I remember my brother at the time was working for actually the Telegraph. And he would be working, you know, crazy hours, like 9 to 6 or 8 to 4, you know, just working normal hours. And I remember my brother had to literally call me at work, and he would be on mute just so that he could hear that I'm breathing on the phone. just so that he would know I'm not doing anything stupid at the end, because he knows that if I knew he was on the phone, I wouldn't do anything stupid. So every single day he'd be calling me from work. And then what would happen is that my best friend, who was at university at the time, she'd be calling me for the evening sessions. And I'd literally be going back and forth. It was like a shift for them. Who can watch over Hayley and how can we watch over her? And I remember at the time, my friends had a group WhatsApp. They had a group WhatsApp that literally they would be taking turns to come to my house to see me, to bring me food, to take me out on walks. And at this point, I just felt hopeless. I just felt I don't even know what to do. And my friends used to travel from Kent, all the way from Loughborough, all the way from Birmingham, just to catch up on me, just to check up on me, to make sure that I was mentally sane. Now, I remember there was one day in April 2016 when life just got really overwhelming. At this point, my brother couldn't call me. And I remember my friend being in an exam, my best friend was in an exam. So I knew I wasn't going to get called today. So in my head, I just knew I was going to get checked up on today. So that's when I felt it was a perfect opportunity for me to end my life. So I remember literally got to around 4 p.m. because I didn't want to do it when my brother was at home. So I remember got to 4 p.m. and I went downstairs into my kitchen cabinet. And I saw that my kitchen cabinet was full of pills. And I remember literally going through the pills, reading literally each of the side effects and reading through literally the precautions. And I remember literally just getting a box of really strong, 500 mg. I just wanted the strongest ones. I remember literally just getting the whole packet. And I literally just came and said, you know what, I'm going to take these and I'm going to go to sleep. And I'm just hoping that I'm not going to wake up. And I remember literally as I go into my living room, so I'm in my living room actually right now, and I remember going into my living room and getting the pills and I'm putting them down on the table, popping them all on the table. And just as I'm about to pick up the first one, my older brother walks in. So this is a picture of me and my older brother when we was younger. My older brother walks in and I remember him literally looking at me and I'm looking at him and he's staring at me and he's saying, Hayley, what's going on? What's happening? And at this point, I was too tired to reply. At this point, I was so angry with myself because my plan had failed. I had felt my plan had failed. Like all I had to do was literally take these pills and go to sleep. But even I couldn't do that. Even I couldn't succeed in that area. So I remember literally getting the pills, having one in my hand and my hand getting so sweaty because now my brother's realized what I'm doing because he's seen the pills on the table and he's seen one in my hand. And I remember him sitting me down and he sat down opposite me. So actually where I'm sitting now is actually where my brother was sitting, funny enough. So I remember my brother come to sit where I am sitting now. And I was opposite him because I've got sofas on this side in front of me. So I was sitting opposite him and I remember at the time, so you can see there's things behind me here, but yeah, 4 years ago, there was a big blown up picture of me behind here right now. And there was a big picture of me when I was 18 years old and it says, happy 18th birthday, Hayley. And I'm smiling like that because it's for my birthday. And I had just finished celebrating my 18th birthday because I was 18 at the time that this was happening. And I remember my brother saying, Hayley, what's happened to you? This is the sister that I know. This is the sister I remember. The sister that smiles. This is the sister that I grew up with. What happened to you? What's going on with you? Speak to me. Let me know what's going on. And I remember being in a place where I didn't even know what was going on. I couldn't even give him an answer to that. I really couldn't. And I remember being in a place where he just said to me, Hayley, I want to tell you a story about Muhammad Ali. Now, for me, I'm here thinking, Muhammad Ali? What does Muhammad Ali have to do with this? What does Muhammad Ali have to do with the fact that your little sister right now doesn't want to continue with life and she wants to end her life? I remember him saying, you know what, this story is a story that changed my life. And this is a story I still refer to this day. And I remember my brother literally sitting down, looking me straight in the eye and says, Hayley, when Muhammad Ali gets out, and he's about to go into the ring and he's walking out, he hears the fans cheering, Muhammad Ali, fly like a butterfly, sing like a bee. And the crowds are roaring Muhammad Ali, Muhammad. They're roaring him. They're roaring his name literally, and it's giving him adrenaline. But that all changes when he gets into the ring, because that's when it starts to get real. So he gets into the ring now and he's fighting and he's going left jab, right jab. Muhammad Ali, he's bouncing around and he's ready and he's winning the fight. But then there comes a time where sometimes the person that he's fighting literally is able to overcome him. And then Muhammad Ali gets knocked down. And everyone around him's like, Muhammad, get up. The people on the side of the ring are saying, Muhammad, get up. The coach is saying, Muhammad, come on, let's go. But then there's something that my brother said that really shifted the way that I think about life. He said, listen, Hayley, when you get into that ring of life, There's going to be things that are going to fight you. There's going to be things that are going to come your way, and you're going to be fighting with everything you can. And sometimes you're going to feel like you are getting knocked down. Sometimes you are going to get knocked down, and everyone can be cheering, Hayley, get up. Mummy can be cheering, Hayley, get up. I can be cheering, Hayley, get up. Your best friend Fiona can be cheering, Hayley, get up. Everyone can be cheering, Hayley, get up. But when Muhammad is knocked down, no matter how many people are cheering his name to say, get up, Muhammad, it's up to Muhammad to get up and fight. And he said, Hayley, no matter how many people are cheering you on, saying, hey, you can fight, it's up to you to get up and fight. And I believe you can. My brother made a very hard decision that day. In fact, both of us made a hard decision that day. My brother made the decision to leave me with the pills. He left me with the pills in front of me. He made that decision, and I made the decision to speak to you all today about my story and to share my story of pain to purpose. So one thing that I'm realizing, and one reason why I share this, is because I remember growing up where people always said vulnerability is stupid, vulnerability is not good. But I've realized that vulnerability is the reason why I've worked with some of the most amazing senior leaders. Vulnerability is the reason why I've been flown out to work with the senior leaders of Microsoft in Redmond, Washington, that I've been able to sit in government to introduce policies, that I've been able to really work with amazing individuals, amazing leaders to really share my story. And what I actually want to do is I want to empower other leaders to actually share their stories, because if there's something that I realized with this generation and the generation after me, is that we don't need more role models. We need real models. We don't need people who are going to fulfill a role. We need people who are going to be real. We need people who are going to be vulnerable. We need people who are going to share their story and be unapologetic with their story. Every single one of us has a story. I literally coach other people when it comes to public speaking. So I have people that I coach and people that I'm always helping when it comes to public speaking, or even just not even public speaking as a career, but even as a skill. Because every single career you get into now, you do need to know how to speak, especially now when we are in a pandemic and we need to learn how to speak virtually, right? And I'm always saying to people that it's not your message that's important, it's your story. You know, anyone can share a message. Anyone can read the Yes We Can speech by Obama, but only Obama can make it a story. Only you can make it a story. Only you can breathe life into your story. Anyone can read your autobiography, but only you're the person that's able to breathe life into it. And we all have one thing in common, going back to the story, going back to the hidden filter, what the message truly is about. And we all have the hidden filter in common. Now, what is the hidden filter? So the hidden filter is the fact that, I can't see, obviously, you guys replying back to me, but I'm assuming that every single person has one sense of social media aspect. You've got LinkedIn, or you have Twitter, or you have Instagram. Whatever you have, I know that every single person has something, or they've had the opportunity to post something on social media. And every social media platform has a filter, whether it's Facebook, they allow you to choose a filter. Instagram allows you to choose a filter. And there's countries, there's Valencia, there's Paris, there's Oslo. There's so many different filters that, you can put on your picture. But I've realized every single person that uses social media uses a filter that no one talks about, which is the hidden filter. And what is the hidden filter? The hidden filter is the filter that hides the tears, it hides the scars, it hides the pain, it hides your story. And we all have this in common. Right? And I've seen that when it comes to the hidden filter is the one thing that we can all relate to, but no one really speaks about it. And this is what I mean in terms of we need more role models. We need more people who are willing to be more vulnerable about their story, willing to be more vulnerable about the things that they've been through, be more open about some of the things that they've encountered. Because I've realized that when it comes to Oprah Winfrey, when it comes to amazing people like, as I said, Oprah Winfrey, Michelle Obama, I can quote people like Bill Campbell. Bill Campbell's someone that I really am inspired by. They call him the $1 trillion coach, the man who mentored and coached Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg. He was, they always speak so highly of him. But the reason why I love him is because of his story. He has a powerful story. Oprah Winfrey has a powerful story. Oprah Winfrey isn't recognized as one of the highest paid presenters in the world by her skill. No, I think the reason why Oprah got to where she got to, yes, by her diligent hard work, but because her story is inspiring. And I think many of us need to also be reminded that our stories are there to inspire others, to inspire generation. That's why I love Whitney Houston's song, I believe the children are the future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. So in 2016 as well, I was able to write my book, The ABCs to Student Success. It's rated 4.9 on Amazon. And at the moment, we're literally in the process of republishing it, just because I'm now in university again. I go to University of Kent. So within the 4 years, I was able to leave university, get help, you know, completely shift my life around. And now I'm in university again, literally about to enter into my final year of university. So I graduate next year, and I'm updating this book now because now this is a complete different space that I'm in. So I wrote this book straight after me leaving university, and literally just a few months after, you know, overcoming depression and suicide. So this book was written in 2016, literally it's a very raw book. So it's literally written out of that process. But the ABC Student Success, what it is I use a psychological method called method of loci, where I basically intellect life lessons with alphabet. So I've realized that the alphabet is something you're never going to forget. You are never going to forget the alphabet. ABC, we learn it. It's the first thing you actually ever learn, but it's something you're never going to forget. But you don't necessarily need to remember the alphabet. You don't need to recite the alphabet every single day, but something you need to recite and remember every single day is life lessons. So what I've done is I made an alphabet of life lessons. So A being acceptance, B being belief, C being confidence, and D being determination, E environment. So all the way from A to Z, you have something that's going to help you when it comes to overcoming trials and tribulations. These are the things that I had learned when I was suicidal, when I was depressed, when I was really anxious. These are things that I had learned, and I put them into a book so that any person can take it. This is not just for students. This book is for anyone who's a student of life, because life is your greatest teacher, right? And I just wanted to share with you guys the ABCs for this. And A being acceptance. You know, you must first currently learn to accept where you are right now, because sometimes you have to be able to accept where you are before you can, you know, many people always want a solution, but sometimes they're not willing to accept the problem. And it's okay to be in a place of acceptance, to accept that you're not in the best of places. That's where it first starts, with acknowledging that you're not there, accepting that you're not okay. So accepting that it's okay not to be okay as well, because some people, you know, force being happy, and this is why social media sometimes can be so dangerous, because people want to look happy rather than be happy. And I'm in a place in my life where I don't want to look happy, I want to be happy. So I do everything I can to live a life that is authentic, to live a life that is real. As I said, we don't need role models, we don't need people who are going to act, we need people who are going to be real with how they're feeling and what they're going through. B is brighter days, which is after every dark night there's a brighter day. That's one of my favorite quotes. After every dark night there's a brighter day. That just understanding that, yes, as I said, your current situation is not your final destination, that at the end of every dark tunnel, there must be a light. So carry on fighting and carry on going, because there is going to be a day that you'll have your brighter day. And C being comfort, that don't be scared to seek help. Don't be scared to seek comfort from those around you, because that's the best thing you can do. And that's the thing that kept me going. It was my friends who are holding me down, my friends that would come to see me, my brother calling me on the phone every day, and my mum being able to carry me and pick me up from Sussex. These are the things that really kept me going. So I'm going to end it here with the things that I take every single day to make sure that my mental health, my well-being is sustained every single day. One, the best present you have is your presence. So I'm one person, I'm very present. And this pandemic and everything that's been happening with COVID-19 has taught me that you should be present with your loved ones. Like, you know, there's some family members I haven't seen for months, and there's, you know, some people that I haven't been able to even catch up with and talk to because of all the dynamics of everything going on. But this has taught me that when I do go back to seeing people, I'm going to be so present with them. I'm going to be so present with them, because who would have known that this is going to be the year that we wouldn't see our loved ones for so long? Who would have known that this is going to be the year that we'll be stuck in our houses, literally? I'm one person, I love being at home, but when I'm stuck, like when it's a law, when it's literally like, it's a rule, I don't like it. Like, I like being able to stay in my house by choice. So now when it's a force, I was like, wow, this is quite uncomfortable. But this has really taught me that the best present is your presence, that I've been able to see some of my friends in terms of like going out and social distancing and stuff. And I've been so happy, like literally my mood straight away has shifted, because I've realized I'm seeing people that I love. I'm seeing people that I care about. And I didn't realize that me being away from them actually had a toll in my mood. So the best presence is your presence. The next one, have a good time. Life is way too short for us to be thinking about all the problems of yesterday and to be worrying. I remember reading a quote where they say, worrying is like going outside with an umbrella and it's not even raining. I'm going to say this again. Worrying is like going outside with an umbrella and it's not even raining. And I know sometimes life can get crazy and life can get hard. And 2020, ooh, if I could describe it in a year, I'll definitely say interesting. But I definitely would say that 2020 has made me really count the things that I want to do. It's made me realize that I want to do things that make me happy. Life is way too short to do things that make you sad or to entertain environments that are not conducive for your growth or conducive for your happiness. So have a good time, learn to be around people who you can laugh with, be around people who you can enjoy life with. And I'll say the last one is count your blessings. Every single day, count your blessings. The attitude of gratitude is the best attitude to have. So I have an attitude literally where I have a gratitude journal where every single night before I go to bed. And this is actually the one thing that actually helped me get out of that place of being so broken and hurt in 2016, where I forced myself every single day to at least write 2 things I'm grateful for. And then as time went on, I was able to add on more things. So every single night before I go to bed, I just say thank you. I mean, even when I wake up, the first thing I do is say thank you for life. I wake up, thank you for life. I wake up to a song called Brighter Day by Kirk Franklin. And it talks about that today's going to be a brighter day. It's going to be a brighter day, regardless of whatever I'm facing. Sorry, pardon me. That regardless of whatever I'm facing, today is going to be a brighter day. So I've learned to count my blessings. I've learned to be grateful because I remember literally hearing this analogy that, a baby. So I've got nephews and I've got a lot of children around me. And if you give a baby milk and then they keep spitting out the milk, for you, you're not going to give them any more milk because you're going to think that they don't want the milk anymore because they keep spitting it out. And that's how I think about it with blessings, that, with the way that the world works, that, if you're not grateful, you're basically, and you're complaining, you're basically spitting out the blessings you already have. And, there's that quote that says, learn to be grateful what you have before it becomes what you had. So many people have learned to be grateful for being outside, right? For freedom, for breathing, just because, it's COVID-19 in general, the fact that it affects your lungs, that, unfortunately, there's some people that have passed away. And just some people I know personally, my mom actually had COVID at the beginning of the pandemic. And I remember literally just seeing my mom and just literally just thanking God that my mom was able to come out of it, and just seeing her in that place. So I definitely am one person that I've forced myself to count my blessings in 2020 because I've been faced with things that, I'm grateful that it's not where it used to be. So learning to just take each day as it comes and count my blessings every single day. So as we're getting to the end of this presentation, I just want to say for everyone who is around, listens to podcasts, I do have a podcast called Building You with Hayley Mulenda. And this podcast is all about building you. I'm a personal development lover. And I have this phrase where I say, I build you as you build your empire. I'm the strong friend amongst my friendship group. I'm the pourer, meaning that I'm pouring out to everyone else. And I know what it feels like to be the strong friend. I know what it feels like to be the person that's carrying everyone else or carrying everyone else's burden. You don't have anyone to really be pouring into you or sharpening you or encouraging you. So this is what this podcast is about. It's about striving you to do better and be better, just because, I really do believe in, yes, achieving great accolades and, becoming a great person. But I also believe in order for you to, get great things, you must first be a great person. I believe that character is everything. So building you is the most important thing you can do before you build your empire. But the last takeaway, which is something that always gives me hope, is that it always gets better in the end. And if it's not any better, then it's not the end. So as I said before, after every dark night is a brighter day. Always know that you can hold on to the things that you're going through, that life is every single day you have the opportunity to have life and to breathe. There's purpose. There's a quote that I do very much read every single day, which is every day above the grave is a great day. As as harsh as it sounds, it's a very true statement that every single day you have the opportunity to breathe, to live, to walk. It's a great day. It's a purposeful day, because it could have easily gone in another way or another direction. So I just want to say thank you so much for everyone that has listened. And I'd love to be connected with any of you guys. If you at me on your social media using the hashtag, as I said, the hidden filter. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on everywhere. And I'm hoping that through my story and through what I had shared about the hidden filter, it's given hope. That's why I share my story, to give hope. I share my story ultimately to empower other people to actually know that there is, as I said, light at the end of the tunnel. And I just want to say that I hope you guys have an amazing entire of the conference, and thank you for listening to me.
Thank you so much, Hayley, for sharing your story. I'm pretty sure that your journey will resonate with so many of our members, and I love the idea of looking for real models rather than role models, and I love the way you simplified that in just 5 words, because that's something that we all feel. People can come at you and just not be authentic. So yeah, I'm going to pass over now to Pete, our moderator, who's going to take a few questions from the audience. And thank you so much. It's been absolutely inspirational.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Hayley. Clearly from the comments and messages and questions that we've had come in during your talk, you really hit the mark with many of our students.
Wow.
And I'm just going to give you a couple of quick comments and questions that if you can react to. Obviously, we're not going to be able to fit them all in, and we've only got about another 10 minutes. So, so I'll try and rattle through some of these for you. So the first one says, "Hi, Hayley. I'm sitting here with tears in my eyes. I can relate to so much of what you are saying, and especially about the taboos around mental health. As a fellow BME woman, I feel that there's a lot of this and a lot of barriers for us to access this help, and I feel it's just not there sometimes. I'm running some meetup groups, but what else can we do to reach out to our communities?"
Be the change you wish to see. I know it sounds, so whoever said that, like the fact that you're running in a meetup group, it starts with that. You know, there's a Michael Jackson lyrics, which I kind of listen to all the time. I'm going to make a change. You know, change starts with the man in the mirror. I very much do believe that change starts with you. So I run these talks, I run these sessions to facilitate these type of environments in corporations and institutions. So the fact that you're running meetup groups, yes, I would say collaboration. Collaborate with other people who have the same story, that, you know, you can reach out to, that can help you. So I didn't get to where I am now by me just, you know, just saying, oh, you know, let me just plant myself there. Like, I actually reached out to people and say, hey, like, this is an idea that I have, you know, can I have some help, or can you give me advice? So that's one, as be the change you wish to see. I'll say number 2, which is collaboration. Number 2 was collaboration. I'll say number 3, the last one, is utilize your social media platform. Social media now is the most powerful tool more than ever. Everyone's on social media. So whether that's, you know, doing Instagram lives, doing posts, doing webinars, the whole of March, I've done a webinar every single week, touching on well-being, touching on finance, touching on personal development, touching on all these things, just because I had realized that people have time and people want to learn. So running webinars, like, do it, you know, do things that people would have access to. So social media right now is the most important thing. So I know right now, especially with everything kind of going on with, you know, Black Lives Matter and everything going on right now with because it's been very triggering. I've literally been working with my clients and working with my agencies to actually really create some material for well-being in this time, because everything has been very triggering. So I would definitely say run webinars and do sessions. And if you can't physically do it, then find people that can run it on your behalf, because people need it right now. So I hope that will encourage you as well to, as I said, carry on doing what you're doing, carry on being that change. Number 2, collaborate. And number 3, utilize your social media platforms and the people around you.
Thanks, Hayley. Another question here. How do you go about getting the strength to share your story?
How do I go about getting strength to share my story? At first, I had to get strength to share my story to my close ones. I think, you know, understand it's a process. I didn't just share my story straight away. It took me a few months before I could share my story, because I was off social media. I'm a social media babe, which means that I love social media. I've been on social media since the age of like 9 or 8. It started with MSN to Bebo to MySpace to Facebook. I'm the generation that's been through everything, right? So I remember when I was in that place, I went on social media for a good 3 months, and the first strength it took was me coming back on social media. So I would say every single person has different milestones that they still need to overcome. Mine was first going on social media. Before I could even share my story, I had to come on social media first. And then I, shared it with my friends, telling my friends about it, speaking to my friends about it, and having a real support. The fact that I had friends that supported me, the fact that I had friends that encouraged me to share my story. And I first shared my story on a Snapchat. Literally, people don't know, I first shared my story on Snapchat story. I came on my Snapchat and I came and said, this is where I've been. This is why I haven't been here. And that was my close friends at first, because I don't have many people on my Snapchat. And then so many people, I got so many messages from my Snapchat saying, oh my gosh, Hayley, I know how you're feeling. I felt like this in university too. And just having that support and having that encouragement was the thing that actually led me to now going on Twitter and sharing my story. And then through Twitter, that's when people reached out to me, and that's actually how my story actually started going out. So I definitely would say support. Make sure you have a great support system. Make sure you have people that can actually encourage you and hold you through that process, because it can be very triggering. It can be very hard. But as long as you've got loved ones around you that can really help you get strength to hold you up, then I'll say that it'll be okay. And as I said, it's a journey. Don't pressure yourself. Don't put a deadline to heal. Don't put a deadline onto healing. Don't put a deadline onto when you can overcome this, because just take every day as it comes, because it's not a linear process.
And on that, which was more difficult, opening up and sharing that with your close friends and family, or sharing with the wider audience on social media?
It was wider audience. Reason being is because I knew, opening up to my friends, I knew that I'd get the support. Whereas, some people, these are things I don't share about, but I'll be open with, like, here on this conference. Like, I've shared my conference, so I've shared my story before at some, but like, and people just saying, oh, you can just overcome depression, like, suicide doesn't have to, how do you even end up getting to a suicidal place? You're so young, this. So, with strangers, they're all entitled to their opinion. Do you know what I mean? So they could be very harsh, and sometimes you're not ready for that. So I had to at first make sure I've got a solid support. So if I am triggered by any comments, I can run back to my support system. So I would definitely say it was easier to tell my friends than it was to strangers, because you just don't know what they're going to say to you.
Sure, thank you for that. One last question, because we're really pushed for time, and I'll let you answer this, and then it's over to Sin to wrap up the session.
Okay.
On your journey out of depression and anxiety, how difficult was it to train the voice in your head to tell you positive and supportive messages rather than negative ones?
Very difficult. I had to, there's Power of the Habit where it says it takes 21 days. I think for me, it took me at least 90, at least minimum. But I had to be very disciplined. So I used to listen to a certain song every single day. I would listen to good music every single day. I'd have to listen to good music, affirmations. I had to journal as well. Literally had to just every single day. My mom thought I was crazy, because I had to literally every single morning, I'd have to be like, hey, you're going to overcome this. There's light at the end of the tunnel. I actually had affirmations that I'd be saying every single day. And these affirmations I still say every single day. 4 years later, I'm still speaking life over myself. I don't call myself a motivational speaker. I don't call myself an inspirational speaker. I call myself a life speaker, because I believe that there's life in your tongue. I believe that the power of the tongue, there's life and death, right? So I've learned to speak life over myself. I've learned to journal. When I get overwhelmed, I've learned to open up. So those are the things that I was doing in that time to train my thoughts. I'd listen to motivational content. I'd listen to sermons. I am a person of faith. I'm a Christian. So I would listen to sermons, faith, to just sharpen my faith, to give me hope in a time. But as I said, don't put a deadline. Everyone's story is different. Everyone's triggers are different. So I can say it was 90 days for me, but for you, it might be 20. It might be a year. It may be 10 years. Like, it's different for every single person. Mental health and well-being is not a linear process. But as long as you take every day as it comes, breathe every single day, laugh every single day, journal every single day, do affirmations every single day. If you're a person that believes in God like me, pray every single day. These are the things that have helped me. But I hope that answers your question. But just to say to you guys, I am on social media. If you have any questions and you want to reach out to me, please feel free to email me, go on my website, Hayley Mulenda, and I'm more than happy to talk to anyone as well.
Hayley, you've been absolutely inspirational. So many of the things that you've said today have resonated. I absolutely, completely relate to your mum, and the way you said that your mum can hear in your voice how you're feeling, and the fact that you can't hide that from her. And I really hope that I am that mum to my children. Yeah. But anyway, you've got all your admins, you've got all your contact details on there. I've already followed you on social media. I think you're absolutely amazing, and we absolutely cherish the fact that you've given us your space and time this morning, and you shared some deeply personal information with us. And I'm so happy that you're definitely up there and you're being happy rather than just looking happy, even though you absolutely look happy.
Yeah.
So thank you. It's been absolutely amazing. We really appreciate you taking your time, and I want to thank everybody who's listened in and engaged with questions today. It's been an absolutely amazing session. Thank you.
Thank you.